Hey everybody, Katie Cat Art here, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be drawing Damien from the game that needs no introduction. I don't even need to say its name, you guys. You already know what game this is. It's everywhere, and my goodness, everybody's talking about it, for better or worse, because my goodness, nothing has came out and had this fast of a controversy. Like, I don't even... It's not a controversial game, by the way. It's only people on the internet get, like, pissy about stupid things, and I'm not going to talk about it here. You can look that up if you want to figure out what's the deal, but it involved a fan artist that drew the characters in a way that people didn't like. I had, like, some personal grievances with the people who were going after this artist, because I love that artist, but I'm not gonna... We don't need to talk about that here. Anyways, so yeah, I'm drawing Damien. He's my favorite character. I love this guy. But before we get into that, by the way, this video is like 2 weeks late. I think it's 2 weeks. I don't know. I think I missed uploading for 2 weeks. Which, you know, that's okay. You know, sometimes we get caught up in our own personal devices. I was doing homework, actually, which is weird because school just started today. By today, I mean the day I am recording this. So I don't know what day this is gonna go up on. I hope to upload it today, but that might not happen. Might go up tomorrow, but that's okay. I should stop talking about dates in these videos because it, like, that's not entertaining at all. Anyway, whatever. Anyways, so I was planning to do this video a couple weeks ago, but then I was like, wait, I have a crap ton of homework to do, because I had some art summer assignments, which are not projects that you can BS, because you know if I had like a reading assignment, I'd be like, oh, Spark Notes right night before, but like this was an art assignment for an AP art class, so I couldn't really not do it. And we had like 4 finished projects that we had to get done, and 4 sketchbook assignments that we had to do, and I had like half of it done, and school started in a week, so I was like, alright, let's spend this entire week working on the art homework, how about that? So I did it, I got it all done, and everything looks beautiful, and I walk into class, and she's like, hey, I'm glad that a lot of you got it done, but like, I'm gonna be grading it on Friday, so you had more time, and I was like, you could have told me that last night. Like, I was like, excuse me. I had like, okay, I wasn't staying up too late because I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna be going to sleep after midnight because I gotta get up early tomorrow. But I definitely did work till midnight, and I was so tired, and I was just like, I could have started sleeping at like 11. I could have caught last night's Game of Thrones episode. I could have. I'm so upset about this. But regardless of that, why don't we start talking about Damien, because that's what this video is about. Anyways, so the first time I saw Damien was in the promotional art before the game came out, and they were like doing those taglines or whatever, and Damien was the goth one, quotes on goth on that. So I was like, oh, he's just that guy. He looks like a vampire. Oh, whatever. I was like, whatever. But then you see his in-game social profile thing, and I don't remember what the first question was, but I remember his answer had something to do with liking to listen to true crime podcasts whilst he works on taxidermy. I was like, this is my boy! That's the one! Because, okay, alright, I'm not like the biggest person on taxidermy. It kind of freaks me out a bit, to like rip skin off of animals. That's kind of like, I don't know about that. Not that I think that's morally wrong or anything, I just think that it's not my cup of tea. But when we see inside his house, he doesn't even have like true taxidermy. I mean, he has a wall of butterflies, but can you even call that taxidermy? Because like, they're exoskeletons, right? I mean, they're insects, and and beside that, he has a thing of animal skulls in his front room, and that's not really taxidermy either, because, getting technical here, taxidermy has dermy in its name, which is skin, so it has to be skin, doesn't it? I don't know the specifics of it, but, in my opinion, I don't think that, having dried skulls in your front room is necessarily taxidermy, but that's just me. And regardless of that, I love it because I'm kind of obsessed with skulls and bones and skeletons and all that. I mean, I don't own any real one. I mean, okay, I have a keychain with 2 exoskeletons of seahorses. And that I got from the Skeleton Museum, which is great, by the way. I don't know if it's still in Orlando, but if you come to Orlando, check out if the Skeleton Museum is still here or not. Because I went there a couple years ago. I got a deck of playing cards. They're really rad. But it was really cool, really fun. It's by the Orlando Eye, which is our, like, rip-off of the London Eye, because we just, I don't know, we wanted to build a really big Ferris wheel. Anyway, the point is, skeletons are really cool in my book, and I really like it, so at that point I was like, yep, Damien's my guy. And thank goodness Susie, from Kitty Cat Gaming, is played the Damien route, and she finished it, and I watched it all. And I gotta say, every episode she put out, I loved him even more. Because, like, the first time, the first one is like, where do they go? Does he just go to his house? Yeah, he just went to his house, and that's where we saw, like, all the skeletons and stuff. And then he took you out to his garden, and he was talking about how, like, oh, Victorian people. By the way, he's not, like, stereotypical goth guy. He's more into the actual gothic era in, like, not era, but, like, in the Victorian era with, like, the gothic stuff. And I was like, oh, you're talking about real gothic stuff, not like, you know, stereotypical nowadays. So I was like, oh, that's way cooler. Like, okay, I'm also kind of obsessed with old things, and I mean, I like all old era stuff. I'm not just with the Victorian era, but it's really cool, and I really like it. So when he starts talking about flowers and how he really, like, is into the meanings behind flowers and stuff like that, so am I. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've looked up meanings of flowers, to, like, draw or something. Granted, I've looked up poisonous plants more than that, because, you know, I like naming things after poisonous plants, especially Pokemon, but that, anyway. So yeah, after that, you go to the movie theater with him, and you learn that, oh yeah, spoilers, by the way, you learn that he's actually scared of horror movies, and he says something like, yeah, man, some people just look at me and they think that I like horror movies because I like all this macabre stuff, but I don't. And I was just, me too, bud, me too. I can't handle horror movies, you guys. I love listening to stuff, and like, I love listening to horror stories and true crime stuff, but I'm not big on actually seeing the horror. I mean, granted, I'm really not good with ghost stories, and having a visual aspect to those stories will destroy me, but I can hear it just fine as long as I don't listen to it too late at night, because then I'm gonna be really freaked out. But I'm not very good with ghost stories. I'm perfectly fine with, like, serial killers and cannibals and stuff. I love hearing about that. Not that I like that they exist and that they did bad things to people, I think they're interesting, okay? I wouldn't want them, like, they're cool, but they're not good people. I just think that they're interesting. I don't think what they did was a good thing, okay? But I think they're cool and interesting to hear about, which I actually was while I was drawing this. I was listening to both Kaylee, Elise, and Rob Dyke, who are both super cool YouTubers that you guys should watch if you're into this kind of stuff, because I know I am. So I was listening to first Kaylee Elise's videos, her most recent subscriber story time, which is, I think, one of the longest subscriber story times she's ever done, and it's fantastic. Like, some of the like last stories really freaked me out. I was like, those are good. Which is why I had the rule to not listen to anything scary right before I go to bed, because those would have freaked me out so bad. But I was also listening to Rob Dyke's videos, which I was listening to some Twisted Tens, my favorite Twisted Tens, which I don't know if I can remember off the top of my head, but I know I really like the one about, like, the most haunted places ever, and also the, like, there was another separate video about sanatoriums, and one about the most evil, villainous people of all time, and I really love those videos. I also like the cannibalism one, but you know, that's a little bit much for even some people who are into this. It's kind of gross, but I don't know. I don't really have that big of a problem listening about that stuff. What other ones did I watch? I watched one about deadly plants. Oh, I can't remember. This was a while ago. But definitely check those videos out. I really like them. If you're into that kind of stuff. But then we learned about one of the best parts about Damien in our final installment. You learn that, spoiler alert, you guys, he volunteers at a animal shelter. I was just like, bless this boy. He's such a sweetheart, you guys. Like, oh, he's such a sweetheart. I love this guy so much. He's 100% my favorite. I don't know. I just feel like we have so much in common. And then he's such a sweetie. He's so nice. He's definitely my favorite character. But anyways, besides that, I don't really think I have that much other things to say about Damien besides I love him. And yes, I'm aware he's trans. Alright, I found out about that. I was like, that's neat. Anyway, I get that it's like a big deal to some people, but honestly, I don't really care. I just love him because he's into spooky things like I am, so I was like, yeah, that's neat. But yes, I'm aware. It's whatever. But yeah, anyways, I don't really have that much other things to talk about Damien, so why don't I talk about the actual thing that I'm drawing, besides the character, the process, if you will. So yeah, if you don't, I need to remember to put the programs and stuff that I'm using in the description, but, if I somehow forget, I'm using Clip Studio Paint, and I really like it. I don't know if I've talked about Clip Studio Paint that much before. I know in my last video I talked about it, but that was for like a sketching thing, which is a completely different process to what I'm doing here, which is more of a complete picture with cell shading. So I use the multiply layer, which is really cool. I've never had a program with a multiply layer before. I kind of cheated a bit with Coral Painter, which had this kind of weird sort of brush that you can get to kind of get this sort of multiply layer. Worked the same way, but it was kind of a hassle to remember what brush it was. But anyway, the point is, I really like Clip Studio Paint, and I don't know, I'm just doing a normal line art and coloring it, and then doing some gradients, because I really like gradients, and then doing one thing of cell shading. It's not groundbreaking, but I think it turned out pretty nice. I don't know. Leave in the comments who's your favorite character, I guess, if you want to talk about that. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Here's the finished picture. There he is. He's a cutie. So yeah, I already said thank you, so goodbye.